What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet. And y'all already know, you see the title, Are Men Even Capable of Love? Which is a wild question. But then when I seen at the Queen Maker behind it, I said, damn, that idiot has polluted another queen's mind. Women, y'all gotta stop being so damn gullible. All right, first y'all fell for Derek Jackson's BS. Now y'all falling for at the Queen Maker's BS. Can somebody explain something to me before I even start to cook on this, all right? Why would straight women give a damn what a married lesbian has to say? Let that breathe, run it back. Why would straight women care what a married lesbian has to say? And not a lesbian who's married to a woman, because that would make sense. A lesbian who's married to a man. Yeah, it sounds like a cartoon character scenario, right? Something from Looney Tunes. That's who they listening to when they listen to the Queen Maker. A woman who's married to a man but is now a lesbian. Somebody that confused shouldn't really be giving advice to anyone. That's how I feel about it, which is why I skipped to 4:15 of this video when we actually start to talk about the topic, because the first part of it is just talking about the Queen Maker. And nah, baby girl, the Queen Maker got you going the wrong direction, because this video is capped. Now listen. Mariah Sincere made this video. Mariah Sincere is one of the original OG supporters of this channel. We got much love for Mariah. So even though I'm about to cook on these talking points, which really ain't even, I'm not going to say it's not her speaking, because she adds a lot of her own insight into it, but it was influenced by a devil. So I'm not even holding her, you know what I mean, that accountable for this, because it was influenced by a devil, aka the Queen Maker. I don't understand how y'all didn't like Kevin Samuels, but y'all like her. She's a lot worse than Kevin Samuels. Like, look, Kevin Samuels might have cracked his jokes that might have hurt feelings, but at the end of the day, he never shied away from the fact, or never not mentioned the fact, that he was all about black marriage and black men and black women getting together and having families. The Queen Maker is openly against that. She doesn't even want y'all to date dudes. So I don't understand how you could hate him but even have a soft spot for her, and you straight. You know what? I ain't even going to get into that. Listen, but either way, Mariah makes a lot of good content. I agree with her more than I disagree with her. So y'all go and check out her channel. Give her a like. Give her a subscribe. And even though I'm about to cook, you know, she still has a great channel. She's doing her thing over there. So we want to make sure we can support. You know, Mariah, if you want to debate this, that offer is still on the channel, but I never got the email. So you can still email me. I still think this is a great topic that needs to be discussed. So we can still debate it. Just shoot me that email and we could debate it. But with all that being said, I've already wasted too much time. Let's get straight into this. Are men even capable of love? Let's go.
I'm going to first what prompted me to actually make this particular video. I had an ex reach out to me very recently.
Now, some of y'all might be asking, dang, you said you skipped the Queen Maker pucks because it didn't really have anything to do with the question of are men capable of love, and you don't really mess with the Queen Maker. So, Alex, why didn't you skip this part where she's about to talk to her ex? Why didn't skip this part where she's about to talk about her ex for a very important reason? I need you guys to understand everything with women is emotionally triggered. All right? Now, again, it doesn't mean that some of what she's saying in this video isn't legit, but I play in this part on purpose so you can already see where this is coming from. You can already see where this is coming from. Everything's emotionally triggered. See, a lot of the times, if I come out here, for example, right, I'm not going to say all men, but most men, we just talking about it for what it is. There's no emotional trigger. So if I decide to come out here with the question, are women capable of love? Can women love unconditionally? Or whatever the case may be, it's not going to be based upon a reaction to something someone just did. You get what I'm saying? And if I do decide to use something someone did, it's usually as an example, but it's not the basis for why I'm making the video, which means y'all know I'm speaking with a clear head. But she's already talking about her ex, so it's just showing you the state that she's in, which is not a bad thing, but it's something you have to understand about women. You got to pay attention to the state that they're in when they say certain stuff, so that way you don't even take certain things too seriously, all right? So early gym for y'all, but let's continue.
Today. And he told me that he loved me and he misses me. If you know me, you know that I had a soft spot for this ex, right? And by all accounts, I probably shouldn't. He'd be what you would call, like, if you be in these YouTube streets, he is what some might consider a classic textbook narcissist.
All right, so I got to say a few things really quick. First of all, ladies, This is an early gem for y'all. I want y'all to pay attention to me. Listen to me and listen to me good. Someone timestamp this for me. If your ex ever hits you back up, talking about some they love you or they miss you or sending you pictures of the good times or anything like that, it's a whatchamacallit. Doesn't matter what it is. He does not love. Listen. He don't miss you. He don't want you back. He has not changed. None of that is accurate. You know what he missed? That V-box, that coochie. He missed what that mouth do. You know, look, I ain't getting all up in y'all bedroom, ladies, but my point is he wants something from you. Hopefully it's, all right, I don't want to say hopefully it's physical because obviously that's a messed up reason to pop back up into someone's life, especially using words like I love you and stuff. But I'm just saying, I guess it would be better for it to be physical than it would be for it to be financial. Or whatever. You know, you might think they're both the same. Who cares? The point is he wants something, all right? So he even wants that to hit that thing again, all right? Or maybe maybe you a throat goat. Or maybe you got extra juicy V-box or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is you got, he wants some of it, all right? Even if it's money. Unfortunate, because that means you've dealt with a really unmasculine man, but it might be money. He might need some financial help. He might be in the bind for some reason as a grown man. You know, it could be anything. But it's never because he changed. It's never because he wants you back. It's never because anything is going to be different. Again, I'm not going to say he doesn't love her, but to be honest with you, he's probably lying about that too. But I don't want to put that on the man because I don't know the man. But people use love as manipulation more often than not, as you're going to realize as you continue to listen to this video. So let's go.
However,
because and the last thing I wanted to say, I forgot about really quick. I wish I would stop using the word narcissist, all right?
And we had some really, really great times together, right? So I don't want to talk bad about him. However, since then...
I'm about to talk bad about him. No, I'm just joking.
Been through a lot more in terms of the way I relate with the world, the things that I've seen, some things that I've experienced, and also the way that I interact with men in general. I'm going to say this about me. There are no group of people that I love talking to more than males. I find men to be very, very intriguing. I love listening to men. I could talk to men all day long. I think women don't do that enough. I think the problem with women is when y'all listen to men to manipulate them. Y'all listen to men to shame them. And y'all listen to men to try to get them to conform to your ideas and your views.
And this is what I mean when I say she drops a lot of gems, man. So like I said, make sure y'all check out her channel and support her channel. But we're getting close to the cook-up.
The way in which I interact with men. When I have conversations with men, I ask a lot of questions. I do a lot of listening. I let them talk, and I don't make any value statements about the things that they tell me that they do or have done or the things that they're into. I understand that when I'm talking to them, whether or not I agree with the things that they do is irrelevant, because they're still going to do those things because they are driven by testosterone and they are carnal beings, and they love being carnal beings. They love operating at that animalistic nature, and the vast majority of them have no desire to transcend operating at that nature. They don't see a need to. And they're going to continue to operate as they've been operating, right? So my purpose in talking to them is not for them to understand women better. They understand us very well, okay? From a young age, they learn how to, they learn us. They know how to move with us. They learn how to operate with us. They have our number, okay? So there's no need for me to talk to a man and explain to them anything about women. They understand very well. We, on the other hand, don't understand men at all the vast majority of the time. From my experience of talking to women, and you can't come to an understanding because you're so defensive. So anyway, since that breakup, I've seen a lot. I've experienced some things. I've been to a couple places, and I've just been like a sponge, soaking up information about men and coming to some of my own conclusions, hearing other perspectives, such as what Princella had to say, talking to my male friends. And so when my ex came to me and he told me he loved me and he missed me, I should have felt something, even if it was like gratification. But I felt absolutely nothing. He might as well have told me that the sky was blue, right? Because I understood that he is incapable of love, right? It's not just him. It's the vast majority of men.
All right, here we go. We get into the cook up, all right? Now, if you're wondering why I let so much of that play, a lot of it is just because I want just y'all to see how much women go all over the place before they get to the point. Not even in a bad way. I just want y'all to understand that. How in their head all this stuff is connected. All this random stuff she just said is all leading into what she's about to say now. So let's get to the cook up, because this is where the cook up starts.
Let me be clear, because a lot of people, even women, want to argue with me when I say stuff like that. It's not that I believe all men are incapable of love, but I do believe that only a small percentage of men actually do the necessary work on themselves to be capable of love, right? Because love is not a feeling. And I'm going to refer back to Princella. I love how she breaks this down. So when you ask men...
See, the poison. She's referring back to the poison. That's another reason why I let some of the other part of the video play. Because I want y'all to see, man, this is a smart girl, man. It's the Priscilla getting in there, man, and just got the gears turning the wrong way. Everything was vibing until we got to the Priscilla parts. I kind of wanted that purposely to be pointed out. But let's continue.
The vast majority of them, they're like, well, we don't know. Everybody has a different definition of love. And they associate love with care and concern for a woman, right? So they feel like just because they're concerned with a woman's well-being that, lives with them, maybe, their girlfriend, their wife, or, any woman that they're dealing with, they feel like just because they would come to their aid, that they would love them. They feel like just because they would be hurt if that woman left or cheated on them or something like that, that they love them, right? They don't understand that when they're operating with women at that emotional level, a lot of the times it's to get some type of physiological need met. Naturally, you're going to care about the woman who is helping you and fulfilling needs that you need met while you're in survival mode. Okay? And we're going to talk about this because I liked how Princella broke this down using Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if you've never taken a basic psychology class in college, or even in high school, I believe that they teach this. There is what's called a hierarchy for a person to reach self-actualization. It's like a pyramid, kind of like the food pyramid. At the very top, you have self-actualization, right?
I want you guys to realize we've been watching this video for this long, right? I don't think that we've gotten a real definition on exactly what the hell love is in the first place. I mean, we it's not a feeling. They think that it's when you care about someone and you show concern, all this stuff. But I don't remember getting an actual definition of what love is since we don't know what it is. We're still waiting on being told what it is. So let's see if it's coming.
Person who you're supposed to become. Okay, you at your fullest potential. The higher up you go, the more discipline is required of you, right? Then you have the bottom, the base of the hierarchy. Okay, this is where your physiological needs need to be met. For example, food, shelter, clothes. Okay, a lot of times for men, it's going to be of a sexual nature, right? And it's harder for men to get to the top of that pyramid of self-actualization because men are driven by testosterone far more than women. Okay? That is why a lot of the times...
Wait a minute. When did women get to the self-actualization? What is the self-actualization? And when did they get to it? Because I feel like I missed that part. We used to talk about what guys aren't. When did we talk about when women got to? What is it that they're understanding that we're not? Let's see if it comes up.
Not be alone. Have you noticed that? You'll have women who can go long periods of time without dealing with a man or having any type of sexual relations with a man. That's not uncommon at all, right?
Oh, yes, it is. It's very uncommon. See, now we're about to get into the cook-up. All right, let's go ahead and start getting into the cook-up. Number one, and this is a big mistake women make all the time. They think that their friends don't lie to them. So what their friends would do is be like, girl, I've been celibate for like 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 year, whatever you want to call it. What you call it? And the girls believe them. But I happen to know for a fact that women lie just as much to their friends as they do to men. Having 3 sisters will teach you these types of things. You'll see and hear not only stories, but directly these types of things. As a matter of fact, I'll give you guys a direct example. So one of my friends, who I'm not going to lie, I did smash this particular friend, but this was when I was way younger. Keep up with the story, all right? So back in my college days, I had a friend who was a coworker. I broke 2 rules, but again, I was in college. I was a young boy. Don't judge me. Either way, when I was in college, I was talking to this one chick, right? We was coworkers. This is way back in the day or whatever the case may be. So we became mad cool. We would mess around from time to time, but we was more friends than we was friends with benefits. It was real random when we would sleep together. Either way, she had a friend who I didn't like for like the first 4 or 5 years. All right. Then we became cool like 2 years into it. Yeah, we was friends for a long time. Either way, eventually, this friend decided she wanted to sleep with me, right? But my friend didn't know that. So the friend of my friend asked my friend, okay, this is before I knew that technically too. She says to her, hey, have you and Alex ever slept together? My friend goes, no. Now, in my head, immediately, I know that this is a lie, but of course, I don't say anything. I ain't about to stitch, real G's out here. I'm not about to tell I'm a homegirl, so I don't say anything. When her friend leaves, I ask her, I'm like, why did you lie to her? Her words, and I quote, because that girl don't need to be up in my business. Really, she said the B word. But she's basically like, the B don't need to be up in my business, and she be talking too much, and it's none of her business. Okay, well, bet. Well, guess what? Because she told her friend that we never slept together, the rule that I can't sleep with someone that my friend slept with didn't apply, and her friend ended up sleeping with me. Which, because neither one of them wants to tell the other one, I've said nothing about, so they still don't know to this day. So, why are you telling that story, Alex? Because women believe, just because they believe, that a woman's been celibate for 6 months, 3 months, like I said, 1 year. Maybe she hasn't had a boyfriend, but she ain't been celibate. Just like that woman believed my friend, when my friend said, oh, yeah, we never slept together. And as a result, she slept with me thinking, okay, we all good. Well, if anything, just don't tell her that we slept together. So 2 liars sitting next to me, and both these liars don't even know that I mess with both of them because they're liars to each other. I say all that to say, you don't know that they've been that uncommon. It's not uncommon. It's very uncommon for a woman to just sit around on her V-bikes. It's also even more common for women to be alone. That's why they have pets, because they don't like to be alone. And we all know women who are serial daters who are in new relationship every 6 months. New relationship, new relationship, new relationship, new relationship, new relationship. Every 6 months. We all know women like that. Anyway, let's continue.
And I'm not saying I haven't met women who, like, I met women who jump from man to man to man. They always got men. But then I'm far more likely to.
Okay, now she just acknowledged that she knows women who jump from man to man to man. Exactly. So why were you sitting here and pretend? That's another thing y'all gotta realize about chicks. They're disingenuous. Like, they will not tell the truth. She know damn well girls be jumping from man to man to man, and that's not uncommon. What's uncommon is for them not to jump from man to man to man. And then they go out and get pets. If they don't go out and have kids by some F-boy who they knew they wasn't going to stay with, but they know the kid will give them everlasting love. I've already broken that down before on this channel. When they be like, why is there so many black women who are single mothers? Some of them solely had the kid because they know that kid's going to love them no matter what, and that's the feeling that they need. So they'll have a child with them, they'll have a pet with them, or they'll serial date. But women are not just alone, just sitting on AV box. Stop it. And you know that. Cut the cap. Anyways, let's continue.
Who can take breaks from men and genuinely be alone, then I meet men who can do that. As a matter of fact, the only men that I've actually met in real life who I believe to be doing that are the monks at my Buddhist temple. Because they take vows of chastity.
Semen retention. Shout out to the semen retention gang. Gorilla gang. Right? So there's a whole community of men who do this, but I digress.
So you have these basic physiological needs that need to be met. At this level, anybody who's operating in this space where it's hard for them to get their physiological needs met are incapable of love, right? That's going to be both male and female. That's why if you go to a lot of these underdeveloped countries, you will see people putting aside their need for actual love and being with the person that they feel like just does it for them. They don't care about that. That is that's a luxury to these kind of people, right? That's why oftentimes you'll see the woman in these countries dealing with men that she wouldn't deal with if she was financially independent, right?
All right, so here's the thing. Is there some truth to that? Yeah. But at the same time, you can't really say that because you don't really know. It's like, this is even worse than anecdotal evidence, right? Where you just talk about what you've experienced, you just project that on everyone else. Because, I mean, this isn't even anecdotal. We didn't talk to anyone or ask anyone if they were financially independent, would they be with someone else versus who they're with. Now, again, yeah, we both acknowledge that this probably happens, but I don't know that I would say that if they were financially independent, they would automatically just run up to or just choose somebody completely different than who they ended up with at the end of the day. Because American women are financially independent and they still somehow, if you let them tell it, end up getting abused and all this other extra stuff. So it doesn't really seem like that makes much of a difference. But yeah, I get the point, but it's just like you can't really use that. So I don't know why we're making that assumption, but let's continue.
That's why, you could see a lot of these people and feel empathy and compassion for them, but also you understand, I see you as a person, but I know that I can't leave my wallet around you. Okay. I know I can't,
Is it just me or is we still waiting for the definition of what love is? I'm still waiting for that.
I'm going to leave my drink and go walk off, right? Because they're so focused on survival, right? That your personhood becomes secondary. Okay, they're not thinking about if I steal this person's wallet, then they might not be able to pay their rent or their bills. They're thinking about, no, I need to be able to pay my rent or my bills. How does this relate to men, guys? A lot of the times, men are trying to get their basic physiological needs for sex met. That is why a lot of the times men will meet you and they know they have absolutely no intention of being in a real relationship with you, but they will pretend that they do long enough to get what they need out of you. Okay? Knowing that you actually wanted a relationship. They'll even lie to you and say they want that too.
I mean, right? People using... I don't understand what that has to do with men not being capable of love. I mean, by that same token, didn't we not just see that guy get stood up, went viral on TikTok for getting stood up after putting 2 weeks in to pick the perfect place to set up the perfect date for the woman, and then she didn't even show up? How many times have we seen it go on viral, women going on dinner dates with men that they really don't even like, that they know they don't plan on being with, solely so that they can get some free food? How many times have we seen women say, oh, I want a sugar daddy till the daddy wants some sugar? So using the idea of love or relationships or telling people what they want to hear to manipulate them into doing things isn't solely a male trait. It's not even something men do more than women. To be honest with you, women are more manipulative than men are, simply by the nature of the fact that they have to survive. And for them to survive, they have to manipulate because they're not designed to fight. So what point is that making? Yeah, there's some dudes out here who will tell women whatever they want to hear so that they can smash. There's also some women out here who will tell dudes whatever they want to hear so that the dude to spend money on them. So that the dude will marry him. so that the dude will fight someone for them. I can't tell you how many times women have lied about or embellished a situation to try to get somebody's ass kicked. Like the Terrence Richards. I hope I'm saying his name right because I'm going off the top of my head. The NFL player, Travis Randolph. I don't remember exactly, but I just did a story on it. She lied and said the man was beating her when she wasn't. So using, like I said, relationships or just marriage or just any type of social dynamic. I mean, damn, Ayana was married for 14 years and said dude was never loving her the right way. So what'd she marry him for? She had to be getting something out of it. That's not exclusive to men. Everyone does that. So if you're going to use that as a reason for why men are incapable of love, then women are too. If that's what you're going to say. Now, listen, for those of you, I'm going to state my argument right now so that y'all understand my position going forward in the video. I think most people don't know how to love. My problem is they're putting it on men. Women have this thing in their head, right? Where it's like they want to be the bastions or the gatekeepers of love and romance and emotional intelligence. Even though a lot of the times they struggle with love, they're not very romantic and they lack emotional intelligence. I posted videos out here of women running men over with cars. Where's the emotional intelligence of that? That's attempted murder. Keying cars, fighting each other, all types of stuff over dudes. How often you see a dude run a dude over because of a woman? Let alone a woman he's not married to. Not saying it doesn't happen, but the ratio. I have a lot more with women, but for whatever reason, they still want to be the gatekeepers, the arbiters of that, and that like it has to go through them and nobody knows what it is, but they do. Meanwhile, the most loving creatures in the world delete hundreds of thousands of millions of babies a year out of their own damn bodies. So don't get it twisted like women are just walking around here with heart bubbles and stuff. Maybe 100 years ago, not today. But let's continue. Really not even then, but let's continue.
Because they're operating at that base level. Their mind is so focused on getting a need met. That's why you'll meet men, you're dating, you're at a singles event, you think it's all single people, and you got men coming to the singles event preying on single women, and they're not even single, they're married. That's
crazy. And that sounds like something that probably happened before. Some dude came in there, it was probably Derek Jackson, to be honest with you. Derek Jackson came in there cracking the singles and he married the whole time. But let's continue.
Relationship, right? And you would expect as a woman for them to see your personhood and think about your feelings, but they can't. They're incapable of thinking about how you might feel because they're so focused on getting what they want.
That's not true. If a man views you as a hoe who has no utility other than being a hoe, then yeah, absolutely. If a man really cares about you and sees value in you outside of being a hoe, he 100% thinks about how you feel. And to be honest with you, even when you're a hoe, a lot of the times dudes still consider how you feel. Because most of the times dudes don't tell hoes that they hoes. We know she's a hoe. She knows she's a hoe, but we don't say nothing. Girl be butt naked in your car behind the school or something, you know. She looking at you with kind of that shameful face. But, you know, most of the time, dudes ain't going to tell her she a hoe. Some dudes will tell her she a hoe. Yeah, but most of the time, dude, you know, she laying in the back seat, skiing on her butt, skiing on her stomach, whatever. And you just laying, you know, hey, you ain't no hoe. I mean, all the girls are doing this. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what are we talking about? And if we want to talk about feelings, again, this goes both ways. Because when, again, let's go back to the viral TikTok video. When she stood that man up, did she care about his feelings? Nope. When women divorce men, do they care about the men's feelings? Nope. When women decide to delete babies, and sometimes the man don't want the baby deleted. I've heard women literally say, oh, I can't be pregnant by him. I'm going to delete it. Did she care about his feelings? Nope. Did she consider how he might have felt? Nope. When a man wants the baby deleted. Let's talk about that one. When a man wants the baby deleted and the woman decides, well, I don't want to delete my baby. Is she considering the man's feelings? Nope. Does she care what he thinks? Nope. A lot of women post TikToks all the time, think that it's funny to go outside and mess with their man. They do that little stupid ass damn video that I hate. And they go in the living room bothering their man. After work, I'm about to bother him. He playing the game, I'm about to bother him. And they think it's funny. Do they care about his feelings? Nope. Women that call a man ugly, they'll say ill to his face. They'll call him broke. Y'all run around on the internet calling dudes dusty. I've even heard the words bullet bags used. Did you care about men's feelings? Any of that stuff? No. So men actually dance around women's feelings all the time. Even when we're being cold to them, we still dancing around y'all feelings. So that's not a good example for men being incapable of love. And if that's the case, if men are incapable of love because they don't consider women's feelings, y'all don't consider men's. So again, y'all ain't capable either. But let's continue. I need something that's gender specific. That I cannot give multiple examples of women doing the same thing before I say, okay, men are incapable of love.
Incapable of love. This is why you'll have situations where men can compartmentalize. For a lot of women, it's very hard for us to compartmentalize. I rarely meet women who say you have certain men that's for this, certain men that is for that, certain men that is for this, unless they're operating at that base level, right?
You said you really, ain't no way she just said she rarely sees women who have different men for assignments. Come on, Mariah, you know better. See what I mean when I say women can't help but be disingenuous? Because she knows better than that. Women have the dinner date guy. All right? They got the I'm in the bind Nate, sugar daddy. All right? They got the husband, the work husband. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? The best friend who's like a brother to them or play cousin? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? They definitely compartmentalize their men all the time. This one's for marriage. This one's not. This one's my bull. Come on now. You know this too.
But men do this easily, right? They might meet a woman and they know this is just going to be a friends with benefits situation. A man could meet a woman like her and then decide, I don't really like her like that, and still deal with her for years, so long as he can get his physiological needs met. And he won't think to operate in love and tell that woman, you know what? I'm not really feeling you like that. This is never going to be what you want it to be. This is not how I think of you, but this is what I want from you. And as long as you can continue to give me that, then we can continue to deal with each other. A man is not going to operate in love and tell you that, right? He's just
not true. Not true. First of all, a man is operating in love and telling you that, if we're being honest, just by not getting in a relationship with you and not marrying you. Jim, timestamp this for me. A man can't give you a bigger symbol that he's not taking you serious as a romantic partner than to not even marry you, which happens all the time. And it does not stop y'all from not sleeping with them. This is one of the reasons why I think the argument of not sleeping with someone unless you're in a relationship is stupid, because you either believe in casual sex or you don't. And the reason I always say that is because a relationship is not marriage. That man can still walk out whenever he wants. So having him give you a title of a fake wife when y'all haven't even talked about marriage, and I tell you guys all the time, the whole purpose of a relationship is supposed to be a test for marriage. That's what it's supposed to be, but women oftentimes use it as this is my boyfriend, so I'm not a hoe for sleeping with him, which is not what this is supposed to be used for. But either way, I digress. There's no bigger sign a man can give you than not marrying you to tell you that he's not taking you serious. If you're too goofy to realize that as a woman, that's kind of on you as women. Someone should have told you this. And if no one told y'all this, I'm telling y'all now. So if you was goofy in that regard, there's no reason for you to be goofy no more. All right? Now, moving forward off of that, there are also men who will tell women straight up, hey, listen, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. I don't want nothing serious. Let's just have a good time together, or whatever the case may be. It does not matter. Women make up things in their head. At the end of the day, if you're their man in their head, and that's just what it is, there's nothing else. I repeat again, if you're their man in their head, then that's just what it is. There's nothing else. There is nothing else. So it doesn't matter what you say at that point. You the man. You the pappy. That's it. That is what it is. So it's not true that men don't tell women this. You think Derek Jackson's side pieces ain't all know he was married? Now, as it came out, his wife knew about the side pieces too. So what are we talking about? So yeah, men tell women straight up what it is, but women don't always want to accept it. They hear what they want to hear. They hear what they want to hear. One of the main messages I preach on the channel all the time is I'm like, listen, if you want to sleep around, there's no reason to lie about it. We in 304 culture anyway. Just say it with your chest. At the end of the day, if you got to lie about it, it means it's probably something lacking in you. And that's why you feel like you got to lie about that. Ain't no reason to lie about that. I never preach that. And most men don't. Some men do 100%. But most men don't. Most women are just delusional. The signs are pretty damn obvious. He ain't taking you. You ain't never met the man's family. Like, you know what I mean? Nothing. That's my boyfriend. That just be women's own delusion most of the time. That's all that is. But men will 100% say that. Now, again, we got women in 14-year marriages who don't even love the man they married to. He don't know how to love me. But y'all the arbitrators of love. Y'all the gatekeepers of love. Come on now. Let's continue. We almost done with this.
In his head, he's going to know that that's going to be really stupid for him to tell you that, because now you have the option to walk away, and if you have any sense, you would. Right? They're in scarcity mode, right? A lot of the times, women, we don't have to worry about whether or not we're going to be able to sexually relate with another human being, because you can walk outside your door and get that. Men have to actually lie. They either have to lie to get it from women, or they actually have to be a man who is about something to get it from women, right?
So I want y'all to see the contradiction of modern women, right? When they try to start preaching. So she said men have to lie to get it from multiple women. It is not necessary in 2023 to lie to get it from multiple women. All you gotta do is fire up the dating app. All you gotta do is go outside. All you gotta do is have your own place, your own car, and a damn job. You ain't gotta lie to these women. Now, again, are there some men out there who do lie to women to sleep with the women? Yeah, sure, but I also feel like a lot of this is coming from somewhere personal. I don't know why. I'm just kind of getting that vibe. This is coming from like a personal story, because this all kind of seemed like it could be the same guy who did all of this. But either way, there's no reason to lie in 2023. And again, women lie all the time to get what they want. So if you're saying men are incapable of love because they'll lie in fake relationships and things like that to get to sleep with women, then again, women will lie in fake relationships and fake marriages just to get security, just to get protection, just to get money. So that would mean they're incapable too, which will go back to my original argument that I stated to you guys, which is that I'm just against the idea that this has anything to do with gender. Most people have no idea what love is. They have no idea the duty that comes to it, with it, the responsibility that comes with it, and they want no parts of either one anyway if they did realize it. So what are we talking about here? But let's continue.
Can't just walk out their door and women are throwing that at them, and that is what they want the most. And this is why it's so much harder for men to love women, because they're so driven by
when did we establish that the woman loved the man? Let that breathe, run it back. When did we even establish that the woman loved the man? I was still waiting for us to establish that. That's crazy, but let's continue.
Desires that it's hard for them to even see you as a person. And the problem also that exists is they're not willing to do the work on themselves that it takes to actually be able to be capable of moving in love, right? Because again, love requires discipline, okay? It requires
responsibility.
You considering other individuals, right?
Duty, responsibility. I said that already. I done gave y'all the best definition of love that you're going to get. Someone who makes your soul feel good, someone you're spiritually connected to, and taking on the responsibility and duty of being with this person for the rest of your life. Because you feel that soul connection and closeness to them. You felt like you knew them in a past life. But if you don't think responsibility and duty is a part of that and it's just a feeling, well, that's why the divorce rate is filed at 80% by women. Because when you think it's just a feeling, you feel no responsibility and duty, you'll just leave.
So a lot of the times when I've talked to men and they're like, oh, we're carnal in nature, we're carnal beings, that conversation is never followed up with them talking about how they can transcend that nature. They're perfectly fine with being where they're at. This is why a lot of times when I've interacted with male YouTubers behind the scenes and I ask them about why they don't really make videos directed at men, men know that the vast majority of men are not interested in self-improvement, genuine self-improvement, right? They'll go listen to the Fresh and Fit who tell them y'all need to work out so that you can get a whole bunch of women, right? They'll listen to it. A lot of them still ain't gonna hit that gym. But
I mean, that's facts. She's spitting right now. This part is facts.
To it, right? And be like, yes.
Because dudes definitely be wanting to hear women bad, women not understand us. We deserve women without no self-improvement. That is a fact. But not in the elite fleet. The elite fleet, we all about self-improvement.
That's the driving force. I'm going to work out and I'm going to go get money so I can have a whole bunch of women. But even then, they still ain't trying to self-improve. You know, the vast majority of men want to find women who they can operate at a lower level with, right? So men who are comfortable.
I do agree with that part as well. Now, I feel like a lot of men come to my channel operating off of that basis, and I have to convince them to go after elite women. Because like, they're going to be harder to find, they're going to be harder to get, they're going to be harder to retain, but you're going to go through way less headaches. And they want to go for the low-hanging fruit a lot of the times because it's easy. But I'm like, yeah, but then that's how you end up with a baby mama terrorist. So she's spitting right now. That's why I told y'all she'd be spitting sometimes. The queen maker just ruined their brain with the nonsense. Let's continue. We're almost done.
Being in their carnal nature, it seems that their ideal situation would be to find a woman who is going to stay with them no matter what they do, right? He doesn't even...
Well, here's the thing. I know this might sound crazy, Mariah, but that's love. Really, if we being honest, all this video is really doing is just proving Chris Rock right when it talks about how women are incapable of loving you unconditionally. Because she just said, and they think that love means we're supposed to put up with anything that you do. Well, I mean, yeah, that's what love means now. Don't get me wrong. I say this all the time and I'll say it again. If somebody is emotionally, physically, mentally, or financially abusing you, you have the right to leave. But guess what? Even when you leave, you're still going to love that person. That's the thing. So if someone can abuse you, for example, and you don't love them anymore, then you never loved them. Woo! Again, I'm a whole ass man. I done gave the best definitions of love in this video so far. Because that's real talk. You might realize you can't be with them, be around them. You might have to love them from a distance. But if you really love somebody, it ain't going to go away no matter what they do to you. That's just facts. You might even have to kill them. You still going to love them. You're going to cry after you do the deed. So yeah, men expect you to love them through thick and thin. When you put your hand on the Bible, that's what you say. You said to a death do us part. This is why a lot of men don't want to marry y'all, because y'all don't really mean it. But we the ones who are incapable of love. But like I say all the time, we're not the ones giving up. Y'all are. But let's continue.
To love that woman. Okay? And Chaz Ellis, he has a video about this. I'm going to see if I can find this and link it. Where he says that men and women love differently. And I like how Princella explained this in a video I watched of hers where she was saying,
man, we about to go back down the tank. Here we go.
People say men and women love differently because they don't understand that men don't love at all, right? And when she said that, I thought back to Chaz's video when he said men fall in love with women based off of usefulness, right? Whether or not he was in a bad place in life. Like everything he was saying.
A man's not going to fall in love whether or not he's in a bad place or not. He might use a woman if he's in a bad place, if he's a low value man, but he's not going to fall in love. Now, the first one is legit. But it's not about love. So what he's describing is basically a man's going to marry or shack up with, because black men don't be liking to commit. Sorry, fellas. It's just the truth, right? That's why he's putting usefulness in there. You could be in love with a woman who's not useful, but you ain't going to marry a woman who's not useful. And that's where she's getting confused, but I can't really blame her for that because that's kind of his fault.
Do with what a woman could do for a man. Okay? How you could be useful to him, and it was transactional. That's
marriage, basically, in a relationship, which is transactional. Now, again, just because someone loves you doesn't mean it can't have no utility. Doesn't mean that they can't have a utility. You love your kids, they still got chores. You love your husband, he still take out the trash. So yeah, a man's going to look for utility in the one he marries. Now, again, that's more so on that content creator than her for not understanding that. But he's describing who a man's going to get in a relationship with or marry, not just love. A man might have a friend he loved, never sleep with her, never marry her, but he love her. But she might be a little bit too off for that in the head or something. Or maybe she just don't like him that way, but he still got love for her.
To do with the man actually liking the woman as an individual and feeling like he just can't do this life without her.
First of all, we're never going to feel like we can't do life without anybody. And for as much as women run around this mug talking about something, I'm strong, I'm an independent, I don't need no man. I don't understand why they would expect us to ever say we need you. Don't need you. We want you, as y'all would say. But yeah, there ain't no man going to say, oh my God, I can't do this life thing without you. You could always do the life thing without anyone, whether you love them or not. But again, that doesn't mean you don't love them. But a man has enough sense to know love is not enough. Hell, some women say it all the time. You listen to Judge Faith, she says it all the time. Love is not enough. Love is not enough. That's your catchphrase. Someone can have love for you, but that don't mean you can be their wife. That don't mean you can be in a relationship with them. You love your friends. There's different levels of love. There's more type of love than romantic love. A man's not going to make an investment on a woman who has no usefulness. A woman, now I will say this, if a woman gets in her feelings, she'll take on a man who has no usefulness, but there's still always some type of a reason for it. A masculine man might want to take on this man who everyone thinks he's a bum, right? And it might be because she loves him to some degree, and it might be because he's hitting it right to some degree, but it's also because she's a masculine woman, so she just wants a man she could kind of boss around and she could be the boss of. If she gets a masculine man, she can't get that feeling. That's why she's dating this bum. So even with the love that's there, there's still usually an ulterior motive on top of that still why the woman is with the man, even if he's a bum. So I can't even really say that.
Or him setting aside his own carnal desires to be a better man for this woman, right? It had nothing to do with that. So most men, their ideal would be to get them an anchor woman, okay? What is an anchor woman? This is a woman who, she may not be everything.
This is a myth. This is a myth. Hold on, I'm gonna run it back so y'all can hear what she's saying an anchor woman is. But an anchor woman is a myth. That's what it is. But let's continue.
A better man for this woman, right? It had nothing to do with that. So most men, their ideal would be to get them an anchor woman, okay? What is an anchor woman? This is a woman who, she may not be everything that man wants. She may not be like, if that man would have started off with the looks, okay, maybe the height, the money, if he would have just came into the world or to his being just like that and didn't have to work towards those things, like he actually just had it and could get the woman that he wanted early on, that anchor woman might not necessarily be that to him, right? However, that's okay, because the anchor woman is going to stay no matter what. Okay. And people might think, oh, he loves this anchor woman. And it's like, no, she's just fulfilling a need. A lot of times, guys, I have to understand, without the anchor woman, that man wouldn't really be much, right? The anchor woman might pay a portion or half of the bills or have helped this man get to where he was at. But so this man can...
Now, she's spitting, but the reason I said the anchor woman is a myth is because of what she thinks it is. She thinks the anchor woman is someone that basically builds a man up, which I don't know where women get this idea that they build men up. They do not build men up. Women don't build men up, all right? Not all, of course. There are some who do, but most women don't build men up. A woman will jump in if she sees potential and support 100%, but build men up, can't do it. Whenever you see a woman with a bum, going back to what I was just saying, it's usually because it's a masculine woman who wants to be the boss. She don't even plan on building him up. She likes bossing around the household, wearing the pants. That's why she's with him. All right, the women you see, if she's a feminine woman and she's with a bum, ain't gonna last long. All right, you probably call her a rebound or something. But ain't no woman just building no man up. It ain't happening like that. Again, support, yeah, when he's already headed somewhere, but building him up from the ground up, it ain't happening. 1 out of every 10 women will do that. Now, what she's talking about is what I like to call the genetic celebrity, which essentially means a man will take what he can get as far as a woman, right? And she generally does what he needs her to do. He can't really get no better than that. And he needs some on-call in-house ass because he can't just go out here and pull chicks. He doesn't have the riz. He doesn't have the genetic makeup. He just ain't got it. So he'll go ahead and marry this woman that he really don't even like that, just to have a woman in the house who he can sleep with, who's agreeable. But then as soon as he comes up, as soon as he gets his money up, then he'll leave her or cheat on her with the type of woman he always wanted. Usually he'll just cheat on her because he don't want to pay to leave her, if we're being honest. But that's what she's talking about. Or if he's not married, we call those drop busters, which is a woman who you know you're way out of her league, but all the other women who are on your level right now just ain't, the ducks ain't biting. So you go ahead and clap this joint that you really shouldn't clap because you're out of her league, but you clap her anyway because you got a clap sign. But the married version, like I said, is what I call the genetic celebrity idea, which is men have to get themselves to a certain point in life before they can get that genetic celebrity woman that they want. But what they'll do is they'll settle down with a regular woman in the meantime so they can get them some cakes. But there's no anchor. There's no woman who he's getting with and she's helping build him up and she's doing all this extra. That ain't happening. That's hell. That's hell. Every man in that situation is living in hell, whether he tells you that or not. So if he's putting up with that, he's either that big of a bum or he really loves that woman. Because women don't just they don't build men up. That's not what they do.
Good to all the other women that he goes and deals with because he actually wants to deal with them. Or they might provide something that he wants that the anchor woman doesn't have, right? But that man understands that without this anchor woman, I'm not even going to be looking too good to all these other women. So ideally, a man will keep him an anchor woman around and still be dating. Okay? A lot of the times, you know, they'll date until they either find what they're actually looking for. But even then, if they can maintain that.
Okay, so listening to her talk about still be dating, I'm assuming she wasn't talking about marriage. So she's talking about drop busters. Which is women dudes deal with who they really she's just there to fill in space because they're not hitting with the dimes right now.
What they're actually looking for and not have to disrupt their life, they're going to do that. What usually happens in this situation is when that man starts getting sick or when his parts aren't functioning the way that they used to, then that's when you will see that man try to be more faithful to that anchor woman because he understands this is who's going to be taking care of him. And this is a thing, guys. This is a thing.
There is a thing. She just happens to have it backwards. That's about the end of this video. So I'm going to wrap it up. But I come to the conclusion that at no point did I really get any type of strong evidence that men weren't capable of love. And I would still stand on my square and argue most people aren't capable of love, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to also end the video in saying comfortably and confidently that if I'm also being honest, I think women are less capable of love than men are. Because men love enough to deal with all the BS, all the mood swings, and men love enough to feel responsibility and a duty to stick it out no matter what. And women clearly don't feel that same responsibility and duty. And most of the time, they can't define what love is outside of it being a feeling. It is a feeling. It is a spiritual connection, but it's also a responsibility and a duty as well. That's what it is. And what women want to do, they want to mix up that feeling of love and take the responsibility and duty out of it. But you can't have that in a relationship sense. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's why I said you can have love for people, but you can realize this ain't my soulmate because my soulmate wouldn't be useless. That's just real. Your soulmate would not be useless in a relationship sense. And women want to just, well, I have this feeling, so let's just go with it and have no use. Now you got to be useful. That's the thing modern women hate the most in my closing thoughts. It seems like anything calling for them to be useful or have a function outside of looking good, they just don't like. So the idea that love comes with work and responsibility and duty, they like, nah, we don't like that. We should just, I love you, you love me. We're a happy family. Let's do that one. Like, that's what they want to do. That's what I'm getting from this, But I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. Maybe I was wrong. I don't think so, but maybe I was. I am Alex, y'all, and I am out. Peace.